Hi, this is Mike Hendrickson from Strata Hadoop World in San Jose. I'm here with Eric Frenkiel. Eric, how you doing?
Great, Mike. Thanks for having me.
You're with MemSQL.
Yep.
And you guys have gone from like a small company in a matter of short period of time to a large player in this industry. Can you talk a little bit about that journey?
Well, it actually starts roughly with Strata. We were one of the entrants in the Startup Showcase in 2013 at Strata Hadoop World in San Jose. We won first place to take the trophy, as it were. And that was actually, again, a sign of good things to come, because that teed us up for more investment. And at this point, we've raised nearly $100 million from Tier 1 VCs. It's really positioned the company to innovate, and that we've done in the real-time component of big data. So for us to be working with a lot of these great companies pushing the bounds of real-time, it's because we've always focused there since really when we started the company in 2011. So a slow start, to say the least. You have to take time to build a great database software. So by 2013, we had built the core engine, and since then it's been doubling and quadrupling pretty much every year.
And so now you're pretty active in machine learning. You're building is it another platform, or is it part of the platform?
The thing with real time is that it actually is very relevant for machines. Humans think and move very slowly, and machines being able to parallelize a good part of the workload will benefit from a lot of main memory processing. So our exploration and work in machine learning has really benefited that type of use case around fast ingest, IoT, image recognition. Things like that are really benefiting from a very close synergy between a main memory component with MemSQL's row store, as well as a open source framework like TensorFlow, which is very helpful to basically teach the system how to learn over time.
So machine learning tied to AI,
Yes.
right? I mean, they're synonymous with each other. Is this a current fad, or is this something that's going to move the industry forward pretty quickly?
I think it's going to move it forward very quickly. Effectively, machine learning must have a state. You have to have a notion of a memory for the machine. And a data store is what you need to do that, of course. It turns out that things like Hadoop, which are batch-oriented, are not well designed for that. They were never intended for it. So you see a lot more development with Spark, let's say, that is main memory-oriented, but it doesn't have state. Spark as a transient framework is just there. We put all our effort into making sure that you can be fast and have a good memory. So when we talk about machine learning, we've done a lot of integration with TensorFlow. We've actually put a lot of things into the system to make it easy to actually train a model with MemSQL. We've done a lot of great work with Thorn, which is a nonprofit focused on eradicating exploitation of children on the internet. More than 100,000 ads are posted a day on public web. And Thorn is actually using MemSQL, various other technologies, to be able to consume that new data and then match it against an existing repository of missing children. And with the improvements we've made into our software, we've been able to help Thorn compress law enforcement searches from months down to days. And that's already found 2,000 children in 2016 alone.
So you said you could make someone fast and with good memory.
Sure.
Boy, I wish that was true. But
I write everything down because it's the same thing for me.
So that sounds like you're building kind of this real-time data pipeline. Is that what you guys are kind of putting in play here?
Pipelines are definitely a part of it. I think as more data is generated across any given enterprise or application, being able to consume that data easily is important. The notion of batch loading, for example, a CSV file into an engine is really, really old hat. Kafka, for example, which is out of the Apache Foundation, is perfect for this type of use case. It's a message queue. You can broadcast anything from Kafka to multiple endpoints. And in particular, we actually decided to very closely align with that by introducing Create Pipeline into the MemSQL engine. So the same way you'd create a table, you can now create a pipeline in the MemSQL database, and then that pipeline is attached to a table. Now that data is streaming through automatically, it gets saved automatically in the table. And the cool thing is, it has exactly one semantics out of the box. Pipelines can disconnect, they can go down. So when you resume it, MemSQL tracks the offset. And that means that we can track back to the last moment of time before that connection was severed, and then bring the business back up to exactly one's guarantees of data. Certain systems that are not able to do that are only able to do inserts, because MemSQL can do upserts, or a variation of an insert plus update. you can actually achieve live deduplication and exactly one semantics is the end result.
So does a company then have to manage multiple pipelines, or they're only going to have one, or
are they
orchestrating them? Or
you can actually have multiple pipelines hitting different tables. So you might have a pipeline for your text messages. You might have a pipeline for your Twitter feeds, and then you can interpolate that by doing a basic join on the tables. Pipelines are just a way to make big data easier. The reason why Kafka is proliferating in this ecosystem is because it's a very important way of actually shuttling data across an enterprise. For a real-time data warehouse, which is what we build, you want to have native connectivity so it's easy to interact with it, easy to consume it, and functionally actually later on able to return that data back into the Kafka feed so it can be shared with other parts of the organization.
So do you guys work mostly in on-premise with your partners, or do you have a cloud solution as well, or what's?
We've seen a big shift. Most of our customers to date, about 2/3 were on-prem, a third are already on the cloud. And we're very excited to be in private limited release with our cloud service. That's running today. We have customers in production with it. And I would love to give you more detail, but it's already something that is actively on our mind. The ability to actually have a managed service makes it easy for companies to engage with this software. No more DBAs, not having to worry about administration. And if you look at things like Redshift, which is a traditional data warehouse capability, that's very exciting. More broadly, though, when we talk about cloud, it's really about maintaining API neutrality for customers that are using CSPs. There's, in my view, an ideal equilibrium of two cloud strategy for a given company, where you want to have something like Amazon and Google or Amazon and Azure, so that you always ensure you have pricing leverage to make sure you're getting the best price in a given cloud.
Load balancing as well, maybe?
That too, when half of the internet went down because of Amazon's issues, if a dual cloud strategy would have ensured that business would have stayed up.
Yep. So if you and I were to sit down 12 months from now, what would you like to say MemSQL has accomplished in those 12 months? And what would you like to say the industry is now accomplishing better than we have been?
I think in 12 months' time, it really is going to be focusing on closer and tighter integration with TensorFlow more broadly. The work we've done with Thorn is very exciting, but it was ultimately going to be more broadly shared by putting more of that capability in the engine. So image recognition is something that I think is very exciting. It's not just for documents or mapping. There's so many different use cases with video, for example, that would benefit from this. And for the industry as well, I think it's going to be more flexibility, in all truth, for customers that are engaging with big data. I think tying yourself into any given cloud is a recipe for disaster, really. The whole notion of being locked into a given cloud is why you want a dual cloud strategy at a minimum. So in a year's time, I would think that more big data technology should be available on multiple clouds. And that's going to make it easier to ensure that any given customer can get the best price on their given cloud solution provider.
And one last question.
Shoot, go for it.
So in the world we live in, if you could apply data to anything to improve this world, what would it be for you?
I mean, a year ago I gave an answer, I think, focused more on water and the ability to provide that to the developing world, resource allocation. The work we've done with Thorn over the last few months really epitomizes my personal value of what we can offer. It's meaningful to me in a significant way because it's actually finding children that can be reunited with their families. I'm hard-pressed to think of a better way to help the world than that. And I'm thankful we've been able to do that with Thorn's partnership. But if I had to look back, I would say certainly energy continues to be an area of focus. I think we're finally seeing a lot of development with solar, where we're going to see a lot more synergy between solar and batteries. So willingly, I'd hope that more big data companies can actually engage and make that a reality, because that functionally is an IoT use case. You have an ability to actually ensure that you have a smart grid on your power grid now. It's not just burning coal at a fixed volume. You should be able to tailor that how households are actually running. So for me, looking beyond the Thorn use case, it would be something more on utilities and how we can help them be more efficient, save the environment effectively.
Excellent. Eric, that sounds great.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.